everyone, this is Arien with Gabriella. How are you doing today? Hope you're blessed, happy, and well. I am here on the evening of I keep wanting to call it the solstice, but it is the lunar eclipse. So it's May 15, 2022. I'll try to do my best to get this up in a reasonable time. So hopefully it'll be up at least by tomorrow, if not, this evening. But really what I wanted to do is just come and talk quickly about this eclipse that we're having, how it relates to the solstice that we just had in December, and then some themes that were given to me while I was half asleep this past evening, to kind of give you an analogy of what we can expect with this lunar eclipse and what we can expect for the next few months moving forward. So when it comes to the lunar eclipse, the visual that I was given was that the lunar eclipse, the lunar energies are it's associated with the feminine, it's associated with that divine darkness, the unknown, the subconscious. So this eclipse has so many of those elements wrapped up in it. It's all about, the subconscious, what we know but don't know, the karmic cycles, the energy streams that we're perpetuating today for better or for worse in our lives. And it's about going in and clearing those out. I keep wanting to call it a solstice because it has, it feels very much like a closing. We had our our full moon, a new moon on April 30th, which was a partial solar eclipse. And that was I felt it very consciously. I felt it very much in my body. This one with the lunar eclipse and the full moon, I feel it, I feel it very much in my head, but I don't feel it in my body as much. It just feels like it's just circling through my energy field, my emotional body, my etheric body, and just kind of cleansing there, as opposed to being a very physical experience. As it relates to the solstice that we just had in December, it is very much a closing, not just a closing of, our typical solar lunar eclipse cycle that always happens. Every time we have an eclipse cycle, they come in pairs, for those of you who didn't know, but it's also almost like a regurgitation, which is a strange word, but a regurgitation of some of the themes that we were dealing with at the end of 2021 when we had our solstice in December. Even the weather outside here is significantly colder than it was the day before. Yesterday it was in the 90s and today it was in the 80s, but now all of a sudden, as the lunar eclipse approaches, the weather's dropped and I find myself having to wear sweaters and a hoodie again, just like I did in wintertime, even though I was just in my hot girl summer attire yesterday. And it just has that feeling of winter, that closing, that reflection of the subconscious, that reflection of the darkness, that reflection of, the untapped, divine potential within all of us, a cleansing of that on a subconscious level so that we can move into a bright new dawn. So that is what this eclipse is about. As I was kind of in between sleep, I've been struggling with sleep, but as I was in between sleep, this past evening, I was given a visual of a weaver, you and I as individuals weave our own tapestry of energy that controls our mental, physical, psychological, our manifestations, our relationships, everything. And we weave it with our energies and our intentions and our thought patterns, both conscious and subconscious. And the vision that I was given was that, we have a divine tapestry as mine, or, the vision I was given that the tapestry was beautiful, mostly golden with maybe some nice fiery oranges, just a beautiful tapestry, whatever color you imagine for you is what you imagine. But I had a very strong visual of gold and gold tones. But as we are going through and weaving, there are certain parts of the tapestry that maybe aren't as, I don't want to say perfect, but just aren't as, light filled, or aren't really what we intended. So the visual that I was given is that there's a divine tapestry of gold, and then say all of a sudden you ran out of thread, for example, just as a metaphor, and you keep going with the tapestry with the thread color that you have, but it doesn't quite match the rest of it. So there's almost like this big discoloration in your tapestry where it's like the thread isn't right, or like maybe you didn't weave one part of the tapestry the same way you wove the rest of the tapestry, and it just looks wonky in some places. It's not quite the way you wanted it to be. It's not your ideal, and those like patches of, I'll just call it imperfection for lack of a better word, is kind of where we kind of feel stuck, where we feel like, oh, it's not quite right. It's not the way that I would want. I want something else. But on a subconscious level, we may be kind of holding ourselves back or blocking ourselves from getting that smooth, beautiful, flawless tapestry that, would be our divine heaven, or a divine kind of a full manifestation of our divine blueprint that we set out for in this lifetime, because of these subconscious patternings that we're not even fully aware of, right? And it can be difficult and cumbersome to go through those subconscious patterns. It takes a long time to work through. But what this eclipse is doing is it is going through, and the divine is just kind of taking control. It knows our hearts, it knows what we want, and it's going through and fixing those spaces in our tapestry that maybe we didn't do quite the way that we would have wanted to do it. So by the time that this kind of full lunar eclipse cycle is done, and the energies of the eclipse will last with us for quite some time afterwards, after just today, the 15th, we're gonna have that beautiful, divine, like flawless tapestry that we want, and we're gonna be able to see that reflected more in our physical reality, in terms of the way that we move through the world, the way that people respond to us, our manifestations, the way we feel about ourselves, health, wellness, the whole nine. And it's 911 as I say that right now. So 911 being like a strong, light worker starseed call, for those of you who didn't know. And again, I'm Central Time. So for me, the lunar eclipse is at 11:11 Central. So I'm, if if the moon is out, I am going to go ahead and try to see and kind of try to watch for it. I've never tried to stay up to see a lunar eclipse, so I don't even know what I'm looking at, but I'm going to try to watch it. But if it's overcast, I might just go to bed because I'm quite tired. Yes, where was I? That was pretty much the gist of what I wanted to say. I just wanted to communicate, this message around what we're dealing with the lunar eclipse. It's just very much a purging, on a subconscious level, but we have to do what we can in our waking state to allow those energies in. So for me, I've been focusing very much on relaxing, been doing a lot of Qigong. I'm fasting today, which was a little cumbersome because I am a little bit of a food addict. So anytime I go without food, I always am just craving it, even though my body is not hungry at all. But I've been fasting to kind of commemorate this day. So whatever it is for you that you can do to kind of just help get yourself more in the receiving state, that kind of like yin state, that place of, that Zen state where you can just allow the energies to just move through you and do whatever it is that they're doing. You don't completely understand it. You don't completely know what's happening. You just know it's divine, is what's best. So that is kind of just my messages. And if you kind of feel the way I feel, like this just is very much of like reminiscent of the solstice energies that we had in December, which is kind of a closing and kind of a moving forward. The energies they're not the same, but they have similar themes in that way. Like this is very much a closing, like a permanent closing of a chapter. And, that is unique for you, whatever that means for you. But again, it's a very subconscious ending. So you may not see immediately the effects of that in your physical reality, but in the months to come, you'll understand there's been just a permanent shift in some area or even multiple areas of your life that is a direct result of like the cleansing and purging that have happened this lunar eclipse and the solstice that we just had in December 2021. If you maybe also, if you notice, I know this has happened with me in my life, in the lead up to this eclipse, I've had certain people, certain themes repeat that were some of the same exact themes that were repeating for me in December 2021. And they like popped up again, like some of the same people who I thought I would never see again, they just popped out of nowhere, you know, like daisies. And, you know, some of that residual energy that I had around them, around the situation that they may have brought into my life, it kind of came up again, and I had to just do another purge of that, all the stuff that I just didn't get through that first time at the end of 2021. So this is very much a revisiting, because I feel like the rest of 2022 and onward, you know, if you just try your best to live in compassion and kindness, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of newness, a lot of emotional, you know, connections. Again, love, a big theme for the rest of this year. But this moment, it just feels like a beautiful, sacred closing. It's like so just take that time, take that reverence, you know, connect with the universe and just thank it for the teachings that you've had up until this point, and welcome the new light that is coming in. So that's all I have to say. My name is Arien with Arien Gabriella. Again, be blessed, be happy, be well, and have a great day or evening.